We'll talk to Florio about this Belichick situation in North Carolina. And when you have to put out statements, that, hey, we totally back Bill Belichick. Like, we're what, 5 games in, and we're putting out statements? That doesn't bode well here. And I think what's happened, a lot of this has happened, and that is we're blaming his young girlfriend. She gets, like, oh, my gosh, how does he let this happen? Exactly. Bill never had messes in New England. Never. He controlled everything, and now it seems like he controls nothing. So the blame is on Bill. Bill has to get this right. And everything that you're hearing is like it's all negative. Now, granted, they do have 2 wins. It's just they've been blown out 3 times. And the 2 wins aren't impressive. But if you didn't have all this drama, and let's say you had a groundswell of support, the locker room wasn't fractured, guys are, there's positivity out there. Hey, that guy looks pretty good. Hey, we got a bright future here. Well, you don't have any of that. And if you're a recruit, or you're the parents of a recruit, you want your kid going to North Carolina? And North Carolina has never had a problem with getting top talent. Never. Every single draft, it feels like, oh, another player out of North Carolina. This is on Bill. Bill's going to wear this, and this will be his last stop. I can't imagine the Dolphins are going to go, hey, when we get rid of Mike McDaniel, why don't you just come down here and break Don Shula's all-time victory record? I don't see that happening. But, man, there's a lot of reporting going on with this, with Belichick, North Carolina. But the onus should not be on his girlfriend, okay? I mean, she's acting like she's 24 years of age. She's acting like she's in charge. Bill has allowed this to happen. He allowed this to happen. I can't imagine if he was coaching the Patriots, she would be on the sidelines. I can't imagine that she would be involved in an interview. Like, this just never happened. So it's not just her. And I think she's the focal point because we all have this, same reaction of he's 73 and she's 24. But that's why I wonder where his priorities are. I truly do. I don't know if he wants to continue to be, this mastermind, this great football coach. It just feels like something is missing there. Like, his enthusiasm doesn't seem like it's pointed towards football. And everybody that he hired, his son is his defensive coordinator. He brought in Mike Lombardi. I mean, he brought in all the people. And plus, when you recruit, he recruited, so you bring in freshmen and you bring in transfers. So those are players that Bill is bringing in. 70 players he brought in. Not, I'm going to inherit Mac Brown's roster. If you said in North Carolina, hey, you want a do-over? You want to keep Mac Brown? I think we know the answer to that. We started the show. We talked a lot about the Bill Belichick situation in North Carolina. And there's a lot of different reports now. It's not just rumor, innuendo. These are reports talking about real dissension. The locker room seems fractured. You have a lot of discussion around this. Is there an exit strategy? That term came up yesterday. Exit strategy or plan for Bill Belichick. What would it cost to get rid of Bill Belichick? Does Belichick want to be fired so he gets paid? Could there be a settlement there? There was a report that he might not even last until, I think they play Cal this weekend or their next game, and that he might not be coaching in that game. So, these reports, and I guess there is speculation. Not all of it is reporting, but there's a lot of speculation here on how long is Bill going to last there in North Carolina. You've got parents who've talked about the lack of a relationship there. And once again, I don't know if I have anything to compare it to. I don't know if any parent ever said, Saban doesn't say anything to us at Alabama. But with Bill Belichick, he's not Mr. Conversation here. I don't know what you were hoping for. He didn't communicate with his Patriot players, let alone the North Carolina kids. But when you bring in 70 players, so it's not all transfers, you have, 30 freshmen that maybe came in, so maybe 40 are coming in from another program. These are still players that Bill brought in. It's not like he said, boy, I inherited this roster. Like when Dion went to Colorado that first year. Now, he did get to bring in his son and Travis Hunter, but he did inherit some players, and he basically said, hey, pack, because I'm bringing in my guys. Bill brought in his guys. So you can't use that as an excuse that Mac Brown didn't leave me anything. Bill's got to decide if he wants to be Bill Belichick because, and while that sounds strange, I just don't know. Like at some point, the lamp goes out. The candle's blown out here. And I don't know what his priorities are because it doesn't feel like it's football the way it once was. It felt like that's all Bill cared about in New England. That's it. Didn't have a life. This is all he cared about. And, couldn't wait to solve problems, whatever it was, offense, defense, special teams. He was able to get rid of the clutter. And I never thought that I would use the word messy attached to a Bill Belichick team. But this situation is messy. Whether it's fact or fiction, it's still messy. And then you have the athletic department and Belichick, and you put out statements at the same time. We're behind you, and I'm all in. And okay, you're 5 games in. You're putting out statements. I mean, that's putting out fires. Yeah, Paulie.
Just to play devil's advocate, if you're a supporter or you work for North Carolina, you've never been great at football. You've had a couple years where you won 10 games, like every generation, or you win that. Don't you want to be patient with one of the great football minds of all time and let it play out to maybe get to a special place before you rip it all apart again?
Well, they do have 2 wins, but those are impressive wins. The losses have been embarrassing. You lose the fan base. That's what makes, owners and athletic departments really nervous when the local fans don't show up or they don't stay. Remember that big unveiling? The big game on ESPN to start the season? You got all the luminaries there. You got Lawrence Taylor and Michael Jordan and Mia Hamm, and then they had everything but a competitive football team there. I understand what you're saying, but Bill is, 73? Like, your patience is not going to be as long as it would normally be. But you also want to see positives. That's the one thing that would make me nervous is, what are the positives we've seen? What are the, oh, wow, we got somebody there. We got something there. Boy, that secondary's good. Man, we got a good offensive line. We found our quarterback. None of those things are applicable here. That would be the big concern. And does Bill want to stay and do this? Because now that you've done it, now that you're there, and they were the 33rd team, remember? They were the NFL's 33rd team. They were the ones to tell you that. Bill and Mike Lombardi, hey, we'll be the 33rd team. Players are going to come here so they know that they're going to be, in the fast lane, and they're going to the NFL. Well, that is not the case. I don't know how long you wait before you say, okay, this was the right move, or we got to move on from this. But I think we're closer to the latter than the former of moving on from this, because Bill is not all of a sudden going to be, cheery and come on in and, Pete Carroll-like. He's just not that guy. And I think college really, in today's atmosphere, I think you have to have that. Young guys, energetic guys. And that's not Bill. When you win, you can have any kind of personality you want. Greg Popovich could have that personality because he won. When you lose, you can't. Bill had that personality because he won. And then when he didn't, then all of a sudden we go, that guy, man, got no personality. Who would want to play for him? And you would go there because you knew you were going to be playing in playoff games. You're going to be playing in Super Bowls. You had a chance for history. North Carolina, you're not playing for anything anytime soon. Yes, Marvin.
Yeah, I just felt bad. It just felt like after the Falcons fiasco where he didn't get the job there, you know what? I guess I'll settle for North Carolina. It felt like he was settling for a coaching job just for the sake of coaching. It's not like he went to a top-tier program. He went to a second-rate program that's really a basketball school. It's like, you know what? I guess I'll be here.
Yeah, but he got paid $10 million.
Oh,
So
I'd
it's not
go
like
anywhere
he
for $10
said,
million.
I really like coaching. I'm going to coach lacrosse. No, he went, and you're paying him, and he's one of the top paid coaches in America. There should be results, immediate results from him. Yeah, Paulie.
I know it's 25 years ago, but when Bill Belichick started in New England, his first year they were 5-11, and the reviews were not great. They won 3 of the next 4 Super Bowls, and they were somewhat patient. Everyone gets a second year back then. But if you go back to Belichick when he coached the Cleveland Browns, he got them to 11-5, and next year they went 5-11, and they bailed on him. I wonder if they would want to do over. I don't know. I think maybe when you're North Carolina have done light work in the past 10 years of success, why not wait another year and let it play out and see what this guy can do?
Well, that's what I thought he would last one more year, but I don't even know if he lasts this year. I thought maybe he would find out after 2 years, maybe, this isn't right for me. Or they're going to find out he's not the right guy. Yes, Heaton.
I mean, North Carolina should learn from the Jets, who should have been more patient with him. Maybe the Jets should have given him a little bit more time to figure that out.